Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today's Monday, which means it's time for an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below, letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top rated comments for the next episode. And before we get to the top comment, I wanted to shout out my secondary channel, which is a Lego toy channel. I've really been enjoying making content for it. We've had Datto Does Destiny come on and build a Millennium Falcon this weekend. I've been building some of the cool new Star Wars sets. Really excited about both Lego and Star Wars right now. If you guys are at all interested in Legos, toys, or just supporting me in general, hop on over to Brick Vault. There's a link in the video description, or you can click one of the video annotations on screen. Anyway, on to the top comment. Today's top comment comes from Asian, which is apparently trademarked now. He says, the 420 Blazer Loadout, Class Assault, Ace 23 with the Cobra sight for best 420 Blaze shots, vertical grip, flash hider, no one will see you, mare's leg for the sidearm with a 40x ballistic scope for the best 360 trick shots, flash hider, flashlight so they'll think you're the sun, defibs to wreck some scrub lords, M26 frag for the epic explosions, RGO impact for tryhard addition, and the C100 for the Bants, and phantom camo for your sneaky snake luck. You're a tryhard 420 Blazer 360 no scope COD player. You've been trained in the How to Be a Tryhard program, and now you've set out on a mission to wreck some scrubs in Battlefield 4. Use your ace skills and no scope some scrubs 20,000 kilometers away from you with the D4 mare's leg. Love your content and good luck. Wow, that was hard to read. Also, I don't really know what the Bants means. Is that the banter or something like that? You young gamers out there will have to explain it to an old out-of-the-loop gamer like myself. Now, half of this loadout is troll, the other half is fairly usable. The Ace 23, which oddly enough got somewhat of an upgrade when they upgraded the magazine capacity to 35 rounds. It's still an excellent assault rifle. I don't know if I would say it's the best one out there, but there's no excuse to do poorly with this weapon. It's pretty amazing in general, and still a great gun to run with, even when you're using attachments that don't necessarily make it better. Now the other half, like the mare's leg with the 40x scope, is without question troll. I don't even know why they put the 40x scope on the mare's leg, as it just really is a troll attachment in general. It's in the game purely to just be a joke, make the weapon look goofy as heck, because the mare's leg just is not going to do anything with that 40x scope, and for the most part I wasn't really able to use it as a sidearm, so I ultimately ended up using the M26 frag instead, and that was fun in some situations. Not the most effective sidearm, would have been nicer just to have some sort of pistol in general, but then again, this is a weird hybrid loadout. And frag rounds, although rarely effective, can be fun sometimes if you're trying to get a quick kill around a corner. Say you're in a firefight, you do some damage to somebody, they manage to peek around a corner real quick, put some frag rounds by their feet, get the splash damage kill. It's always pretty rewarding. Again, not useful in a lot of situations, but every now and then it can be a cool kill. Now, because this kit does not have the assault class's most useful gadget, which is the med bag, I cannot heal, which is why I'm like camping a bit in this clip right here, because I'm just taking so much damage it doesn't make a lot of sense to peek, and that's just kind of common sense right there. But if you're not already doing that in your gameplay, if you take a lot of damage and you have a feeling you know that the enemy knows where you are, then just don't peek. Make your opponents come to you, and you might actually be able to get a lot more kills. And it's allowing me to do so much more with 20 health and even 8 health than I would before. I'm continuing on this kill streak while barely clinging to life. Granted, one well-placed mortar round or grenade would be the end of me, but luckily there weren't many mortars in this round. Now, Team Deathmatch is certainly where this kit seems to shine the most, and you'll see that I'm taking advantage of my teammates' med bags, something that you gotta get used to when you don't have one of your own. Always being aware of those med packs and ammo boxes, although they never seem to show up quite when you need them the most. Now, the Ace 23, once labeled as the ultimate tryhard weapon, has changed a little bit since it's first been around. I don't know if I would say it's the ultimate tryhard weapon. I think perhaps the AEK takes its place now. It's not to say, though, that the Ace 23 isn't good. It's still got a really fast rate of fire, 770 rounds per minute, combined with that 35 round magazine. I don't think a lot of people realize how much better it is having 35 rounds versus 30 rounds in a mag, since it does take a lot of shots to kill your opponent. That 35 round mag makes those triple kills much more plausible. Now, is the vertical grip a worthwhile attachment on this gun? It's hard to say. It depends how much you move and shoot at the same time. Some players do it all the time. Some players like to stand still a lot while moving and shooting. Usually when I'm moving and shooting, the target is close enough that having an attachment like a vertical grip isn't going to make a huge difference to me overall. So I generally like to run without it, since there is a spread penalty. So it basically means your weapon recovers from firing less quickly, and it's going to make burst firing less accurate overall, which is a pretty big deal for assault rifles, especially for medium and longer range combat. So you really got to know what kind of engagement distances you're expecting to see and how much you're going to be moving around. Personally, I would prefer just not to go with the vertical grip. Now we're playing a bit of Flood Zone here, and I gotta say I don't really care for this map that much. You can learn routes that can make you fairly effective on it, but it's basically a situation where I find I'm most effective when I'm playing a lot on the ground level and walking up staircases. Here I'm on the roof, but it's mostly because I just saw an opportunity and went for it. You'll see me moving up a lot of staircases, flanking people, shooting them in the back, hitting people who are unsuspecting, and that is kind of the way I found to do well on Flood Zone TDM. I don't really like the gameplay. I think it's a lot of time waiting in between combat, and personally I like the look of the roofs on top. It just doesn't pay a lot to spend your time out there. You kind of want to be the skulker, the guy moving around quietly, stealthily, and taking advantage of the good little camp spots. And that's a great example of a triple kill there. Still have 5 rounds left in the magazine, where if I had a normal 30 round mag, I basically would have expended every shot I had, and it would have been a very, very close call. Sure, you can always switch to your sidearm to finish up the last kill, but that transition time is often enough to get you killed, at least if you're up against a decent opponent. And once you start to learn the spawn spots in this map, there's just a few areas that become very easy to camp in. Wait for your opponents to appear and mow them down. I particularly don't like the spawn location on the west side of the map because it's just got a very cheap overlook there that allows you to just mow down people. Spawn overwatches are generally a pretty bad design if you think about it. The one I dislike the most in Battlefield 4 is Dawnbreaker, that allows one team to basically just spawn camp the other team until somehow the spawns switch, which doesn't always happen. Now, using the Ace-23 enough in this loadout has kind of revived my interest in the weapon. It is still really good all around. I love the magazine capacity, and I might be willing to sacrifice maybe my rate of fire or overall accuracy / recoil for some of the other popular assault rifles out there like the AEK or the M416, but we'll have to see, as the M416, generally speaking, is still my go-to weapon when I haven't made up my mind about what I want to use. Anyway, that kind of wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. The troll elements of it were not particularly fun to use, nor were they very effective, so I mostly used the Ace-23. Let me know what you'd like me to run with for next week by leaving your comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.